Welcome back to From the Source podcast. This is episode 25, and today we're talking about Hyrox. So we're going to be discussing what you need to know before you compete in your first Hyrox, or if you're someone that's done a Hyrox before, kind of what we think to Hyrox and how you can alter your training so that you're ready for the race day. So if we start with what is Hyrox, because I reckon that some people will be listening to this who've never done a Hyrox. They've heard about it, they've seen it, but I mean, what is the actual day?
It's a long day. It is a long day. Well, it's all right if you're on in the morning, isn't it? But if you're on in the afternoon, it's a long day of working out how to fuel, when to get up and everything. But basically, it's 8 1Ks and 8 exercises in between each 1K. So a ski, a sled push, a sled pull, burpee, a row, a farmer's carry, a lunge, and then wall balls to finish. So,
and then in between each one, you do a 1K.
And you're doing a 1K. So you start with a 1K and you finish on the wall balls.
And like, you don't get a break, do you really? I mean, in any competition, you choose if you need a break.
Yeah.
But the theory is, or the kind of the mindset is, you just power through this whole event. 1K, do this. 1K, do this. 1K, do this, and so on and so on until you finish. And the average time is like,
I think it's 120. 125.
Yeah.
For male doubles, I think.
Yeah.
So there's a place that's called, like, I speak to someone yesterday about, like, the rock zone, and they didn't actually know what the hell that was. So the rock zone is basically, obviously you've got the track around the outside and then all the exercises are inside the track, but the distance from leaving the exercise to getting back on the track is classed as the rock zone. So I think when people train for Hyrox, they could do a Hyrox sim, as they call it, which is a full run through, but they think, oh, I've got an hour, I'm all right. But actually the rock zone, if most people walk it, that can be like 8-9 minutes on top of your time. So that kills you.
That's true.
So loads of people forget about the rock zone. And the amount of people in the rock zone, that there's like a Red Bull station in little cartons, there's like electrolytes, there's a water station. The amount of people I see just stood there, like they stood at the local bar, just having a chat with a woman, and they're just like, oh shit, I'm actually in a race.
Yeah. There's so many distractions. I mean, in a Hyrox, wherever you do it, it's normally like a big complex or conference centre or like a big hall, like a big area, indoor. There's a big track around the outside, and then, like Sam said, all the stations are in the inside. But obviously all the spectators are stood around the outside of the track as well, or on the inside, kind of filtered around. And I think it's easy on the day to like see your friends, see your family, and like, hey, then there's a Red Bull station and you might go and get a drink, and there might be someone else stood there, you might have a chat, but you can't. You're in a race. So
yeah, I think on the day you've got to have some form of discipline. The last one I did as a mixed, I found out about it personally in terms of, I wanted to go see all my friends and family race in the morning. We weren't racing until I think about 2:00. So I'd been there since like 8, watching everyone. And by the time I physically sat down about maybe an hour and a half before my event, I was absolutely knackered. I'd done 11,000 steps already, and I'd not even raced yet.
Yeah, you don't want that.
So basically it was pretty bad for me in terms of, as soon as we sat down for a bit just to chill, I fell asleep for 30 minutes, I just was out for the count. So when I was trying to warm up and stuff and get back into it, I was really struggling. So I would just advise, I know you want to go watch your friend, it's a tough one, isn't it? But if you want to race competitively, getting there 4 hours before your actual race time is just pointless.
Yeah.
As you hype, the music and stuff, it's a full on like nightclub DJ type setting in there. There's loads of tunes going and stuff, so you can get yourself overexcited before the actual race comes.
Yeah, it's like a full sensory experience.
Yeah.
Like you're seeing kind of influencer people that you might know on Instagram, and then music's blaring and people are working out and people are stretching, and then there's actually like shops and things to buy and, little stations that you can go and try out some stuff.
Yeah, because leading up to the Hyrox, you want to be not changing your diet, not changing the electrolytes, not changing how you build up to like a training session or like a sim. But then you'll do something completely different on the Hyrox day and overstimulate yourself. So then when you actually come to race, your body's like, what the fuck's going on here?
Yeah. Like you wouldn't go to the gym, but then go to the gym 3 hours before and go and speak to everyone and have a walk around and try some new drinks and try some new food and then go and do your workout.
Yeah, sit on your feet, stand on your feet all day, warm up, cool down. We'll have a little stretch again and then speak to everyone. It's not ideal. I would honestly would just say rock up probably. Well, the queues are quite long as well, actually, aren't they? Before,
yeah, they can be.
Depends what you're doing. If you're doing a solo or a double, they can be quite long, but probably get there about an hour and a half, 2 hours before.
Yeah, time to warm up and time to maybe like have a look at it, especially if it's your first one. You probably want to go. I mean, ideally, Hyroxes are normally like a weekend or something. So go in the day before and having a look, or if you can't do that, go in like 2 hours before and just having a little look around, walk around, seeing it, but not going like over the top on it.
Yeah, I mean, what we're going to do for this one, or what was the plan, is we're on the Sunday. You can go down, I think, the Thursday of that week of the event and pick up your band and stuff, so you don't have to queue on the day. But we could go down on the Saturday, watch everyone, get our band, and then come away, and then actually on the Sunday we could just rock up.
Yeah.
And we miss anyone who's before us, and anyone who's after us, it's just we're able to just do that.
Yeah, that's probably what I'd suggest for people to do. Because like Sam said, you don't want to overstimulate yourself, and you don't want to like leave that kind of 2, 3 hour, 4 hour period that you've been watching feeling a bit exhausted, and then you've got to go and race after. Because the race is a big thing, and obviously if you've been training for it and you've been like working for it, then you don't want that to affect your time. You don't want it to affect your goal that you had in mind. So speaking of that, obviously we know what Hyrox is. We know what the layout is. How do we train for Hyrox? Like, how do people train for a Hyrox? Should they go and do a Hyrox like a few weeks before and then just do it on the day, or what do we do?
I mean, I think you've got to do like a baseline Hyrox sim or even a half just to find out maybe what you might come in at. So it's got something to work towards. So I'd probably say like 8 to 10 week training plan. The start of those first few weeks, I would just do like weights or strength or whatever your weakest movement is. More than likely for most people, it's going to be the sleds. It's just everyone always focuses so much on the sled because it's such a big number. But to be honest, I mean, if you're doing it as a men's doubles, I think you'll both be strong enough to do it. But I would probably say anything after like the row, when your body's absolutely knackered, that's the best one.
It's all Hyrox is very individual. So like some people really struggle on wall balls. They can only do like 10 and then they have to drop it. And then some people can't even move the sled. You know, they're pushing every single thing they've got into that sled. But then other people really struggle on the run.
Yeah.
So it's probably quite individualistic or just very personal to each person. But I think in general, the sleds are something that is very heavy for whoever's lifting it or pushing it or pulling it, sorry. But then the rest of it, like, you can kind of get your way through it. I think people struggle with the burpee broad jumps. They struggle with technique and they struggle with distance. They struggle with the kind of motion and the fluidity of it. But like, let's say you've never done a Hyrox before. You can get your way around a ski because you just pull the ropes. You get the sled push and the sled pull out of the way, burpees out of the way. Then you're just rowing on a machine, which everyone's pretty much done. A farmer's carry, which is carrying objects. Yeah. Lunges, which can be quite tough. I think you said, didn't you? They're quite a...
They're just a burner near the end.
Yeah.
So that...
I think by that point, you're knackered, aren't you?
Yeah, I think... I mean, to be honest, after like the burpees, I think your lungs and your legs go numb. So you don't really feel it. anymore. But Hyrox is a running event. They just put the stations in between, so you're probably going to be running for like, I don't know, different for everyone, but maybe like 40, 45 minutes.
I think that's where people go wrong in training. They see Hyrox as they don't see Hyrox as a running event. They look at Hyrox like, wow, look at all these stations.
Yeah, because Hyrox, rightly or wrongly, market it like 1K runs, which is just, they only say 1K runs once, and then there's a list of all these exercises. So then everyone just focused on like, right, I've got to be able to do this, got to be able to do that. And it's like...
And even if you're at your top level of sled push and someone who's a newbie, the time it takes to the top level to do the sled push and the time it takes for them to do the sled push, there's actually not going to be that much difference.
No.
But on a run, on a 1K run, if you are bad at running or slow, the time's going to be a lot different.
Well, if you're a minute a run slower than me, you're going to be at least 8 minutes behind me.
Yeah.
If I keep the same, if I just matched you on all the exercises, I'll still beat you by 8 minutes.
Yeah,
which is
a
mental.
lot. Think about a race, a running event. 8 minutes is huge. So it doesn't sound like a lot, but running 8 minutes is huge.
Yeah.
So I think training wise is like really nailed down on running, because running's going to save you in Hyrox. It's going to break you, but it's going to save you, because it's the hardest part, I think, especially compromised running. Like, run after these sled pushes and sled pulls, your legs go to jelly, and you'll start cramping up if you're not careful and you've not kind of took your salts, and we can talk about that after. But
I think you've got a basic would be some intervals of like 200s, 400s, 600s, and then longer intervals of, I'd probably recommend like 1.2k runs, because I know it's a 1k run, but if you don't want to walk in the rock zone, that's probably about 200 meters anyway, depending on what place you're at. Like, NEC is massive, isn't it? So it's probably 200 meters. So do the 1.2k runs, and then do a 10k run, which is probably going to take you like 50 an hour. So get your legs used to just being on their feet for that long. But then it's literally just getting your legs used to finishing an exercise and just get going again.
Yeah, because it's at Hyrox, you've got, like, let's say you've done the ski, so you've finished your 1,000 meters on the ski, and then you have to walk around this barrier, like down the next barrier, out the rock zone, and then onto the track. It's not just like, I'm having a nice walk, I'm getting my breath back, like, go.
Yeah.
Because that time, I think you can see on Hyrox, can't you, on your split, you can actually see how long you spent in the rock zone.
Yeah.
And some people are spending minutes.
Yeah.
Like minutes.
Ridiculous.
In the rock zone. The rock zone is just a little area that gets you from the place to the track.
Yeah.
It's not somewhere you want to be spending minutes. You want to be spending, limited time there.
No. And in your training, I know people will train in terms of, you'll do, I don't know, like, say you're doing like sled push training and then a running like we've done. People will push the sled, and as soon as they stand up, you're like, oh my God, my legs. And then you'll walk 50 meters and you'll be like, oh, just give us a minute, let me get back to you. I'll tell you, if you run it or walk it, your legs will still be the same. So you might as well just run it and just loosen them up a bit, and your legs will come back to you. It's just that, I don't know, maybe like 100, 200 meters.
Yeah.
Getting out of the rock zone onto the track, you're like looking around thinking, my legs. And then you do your first lap and you think, oh, I'm all right.
That's such a good point. Walk it or run it. If you choose them, it feels the same, so you may as well run.
Yeah.
Because your time's going to be shorter. But we've been training for like weeks and months, even for Hyrox, haven't we? Well, we enjoy doing the workouts anyway, and we're going to do them anyway. So I guess we've been training for Hyrox for a month or two. And when we do a workout, we kind of pick like 3, maybe 2, maybe 4 exercises from the Hyrox stations, but we always incorporate either an erg machine or a run. And more often than not, it is a run, because you want to practice, like, bash these exercises out and then go straight into a run, and then come back, maybe have a quick breather, but then go straight into it again. And I think that's been working really well.
But when you say like a quick breather, it's also if you're doing it as a double, like you work out at a pair, which one of you is better finish on the exercise and running, which one's better at finishing a run straight into an exercise. So then basically that is your breather.
Yeah.
You know, if I'm finishing the exercise and running, you're getting your breather now, and I'm going to get my breather
when we get back.
When I get back,
Yeah.
because you're not having it. And that's basically how it works itself out. And if you don't want to do that and you both want to have a breather, then that's fine. But to get the better time, you have to just keep moving.
Yeah, and that's a communication with your doubles partner, because if you're talking and kind of communicating like, oh, I'm really struggling now, then your partner will kind of take the reins and say, right, well, let me do that. But then after that kind of training session, you'd have a discussion like, how did you find that? And I might say, it was really tough, but do you know what? It was really tough when I had to run straight after the sled.
Mm-hmm.
And then Sam might say, well, actually, I don't mind that. So every time we do that, you know, you start and I'll finish at the end or something like that.
Yeah.
It's a communication that you need to have with your doubles partner, because otherwise, if you're just both going to go and do the workout and not think about it, when it gets to the day and one of you's struggling, the last thing you want is the other person to be struggling too, because you've not kind of swapped and like programmed the session as you would, you know?
Yeah, because I think you've also got to mix in the fact of there's going to be some part in that, say, hour and 10 that you're going to be doing the Hyrox for, that you're going to have a dip, and it's more than likely going to be at a different time. So if you're training hard and knowing each other, you'll know maybe when those dips are going to come, and I'll probably get my second win when you're in your dip, or the other way around. So then I could maybe do a bit more on the farmers, give you a bit more time.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking like you probably get a minute extra.
Yeah.
But that in you, psychologically, you're just like, shit, I just needed that.
That's all you need.
Yeah. And then you power on.
Yeah. I think on the day, you just have to go with, like, you can do everything in training and it's great. And then on the day, you want to apply all that method and all that madness into the day, but kind of go with what's happening as well. Like, we might do it and I might get to the row and be like, my back's gone, or like my hamstrings are cramping. And you could have to do the whole thing.
Mm.
But then, you know, you kind of hope that your training has led up to being able to, you know exactly what you're going to do in this Hyrox. And yes, it might go wrong, but we're 90% sure that we've got it nailed.
Yeah, I think it's just delivering it on the day, because I could row the 1K and keep it at like the 4 minutes-ish that we want to finish it in, even if you had the whole time off. And I know that you could probably do every other exercise as well the same. But it's just, if that's the case, that's just what you just got to suck it up and just do it.
Yeah, because you're a team, and it's nice. I love Hyrox doubles because you are putting yourself and a friend or like a brother or, you know, a sister, whoever it is, family member, you're putting yourself in this like dynamic where I've got your back and you've got mine, and we're in it together.
Mm-hmm.
And you kind of, it's cool when your partner does dip and crash, because you're there to like, come on, we've got this. You know, when I did Hyrox, I saw this guy was like being sick, or was gonna be sick, and his partner or gym mate or whoever was like patting him on the back and was like, come on mate, like we've got this. And he just started running again. And if you were on your own, you'd have probably given up.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're with someone, you're kind of doing it for them.
Yeah,
you know.
And you'll get in a hole, and sometimes all you need is, if I'm in the hole and I'm like, I can actually run, I'm just in a tough place. You just said, right, and I just follow your feet, and we just run back in front of each other, or you run in front of me, and I just look at your feet and I just follow you around, and you're just saying, come on, come on, come on. Before you know it, run's done, and you think, all right, shit, I'm back in the game here.
Yeah.
I think that's another tactic actually. If you're doing a doubles, is like run in front of each other.
In a line.
Yeah, because you're running up next to each other. There's so many people, and obviously you've got to run. It used to be inside the white line, but now I think they've changed it. Like the fast lane is inside, but everyone, obviously, naturally, as you get more tired, you get pulled into the middle, into the inside. So there's people just everywhere. Instead of weaving as a double, which is so much harder, just let one guy just be the bruiser that just runs through people.
Yeah.
Metaphorically.
Because when you do Hyrox, you run in with so many people and you're into even always. But if you can stay with your partner, like one in front of the other, at least you follow like a snake.
Yeah.
But that's another thing to think about, is it's not the same as when you're training, because it's just you and your partner when you're in training. But when you actually do it on the day, you've got like hundreds of other people that are in your way that are kind of, you know, you have to get past and say excuse me and maybe push past if they're not moving. But
and you have to incorporate that into your 1K splits that you're training outside of Hyrox, because you want to be doing a 5-minute, you're just going up and down the street or whatever, but you probably have to run like a 450 because you'll be sprinting some bits of it to get round people.
Yeah, that's it.
Even, you know, like getting back in from the track, everyone always dawdles in front of that the banner thing. So you have to like sprint round everyone to get in, or you're late, or you have to slow down. So there's those things you have to work out. But I think going down before so you can see how it works will probably help you.
I think as well, we're talking about like sprinting and running faster than maybe you should in training. The other thing is the adrenaline effect of Hyrox. Like we said at the start, you've got all this music blaring, you've got all these people around you, you've got your family and your friends cheering you on, you're buzzing for it, and a lot of people, you see them sprint out of that kind of chamber thing straight for the 1K, faster than they've ever ran before, get to the ski, pulling it as hard as they can. They want to go out hard. Halfway through the ski, you're literally gone. You know?
I mean, it's, would you call it clever by Hyrox? I don't know what you would call it, but like the start line is kind of, obviously the track's like the track, but there's a start line's kind of off and like a lane on its own that you come onto the track. But they put you in like the hut thing, the Red Bull tent, for like 2-3 minutes before your actual heat. They're playing. You ever been to like Alton Towers and stuff outside the Oblivion?
It's like atmospheric.
Yeah, and it's like building you up.
It.
Yeah.
You're gonna smash it.
Yeah. So they're counting you down and stuff like that, and you're like,
you're
you
hyped.
can feel yourself.
Your heart's going, your adrenaline's going, and that's when everyone goes too hard.
Yeah.
The adrenaline effect, like you think that you're fine, but if you've done a competition or you've done a race, you know what the adrenaline effect, and it's you feel good, so you go harder. You don't think you're gonna get tired, but the adrenaline is up here, yeah, and then it's completely just goes
absolutely mental.
And you can be on the ski. Let's say you're pulling like 1300s on the ski or 1400s on the ski per, what is it?
Per hour, isn't it?
Per hour.
Calories per hour, yeah.
And you're absolutely ragging it. And normally you do like 1200. It's going to catch up with you. And you don't want it to come like, you know, in a few minutes. You don't want it to come in 20 minutes. But at some point you'll crash if you do that. So be reserved. Like, go fast, but go as fast as you would in training.
Yeah,
be reserved.
Most people are going to be racing it with a smartwatch on. So if your target time per 1K is 5 minutes, maybe do your first one in like 4:30ish. I don't know, depends what heat you're in. But don't go out like ridiculously hot, because the amount of people I've seen when I've been standing in that Red Bull tent and they bounce up and down, I'm like in my head taking bets going, he's not lasting. Everyone's high-fiving each other.
And you do. You see the people that sprint out, and you can spot like the good athlete with the guy that's on an adrenaline rush.
Yeah, they're chilled. The good athlete is just,
you know, like second lap in, third lap in, you see them crash.
Yeah. And the one of the first to the ski, and like you said, they're absolutely ragging it. And then you're looking around thinking, it's fine. And you've got to keep telling yourself to just chill out. And then you see them and they walk, like you said, out through the rock zone, and they are hands on their head. They're walking, and you think, idiot.
You don't want to be that person.
Because it depends what type of like people we are. Do you want to... Because everyone's going to pretty much redline. You're going to be like 180 beats a minute or whatever age you are for the whole way through at some point. So do you want to be that at the first 5 minutes, or do you want to be that pretty much? It's more than likely going to have to be the burpees, isn't it? Like,
yeah,
for me
you want
anyway.
to ease into it.
Yeah.
If anything, really, in an ideal world, you'd probably like to come like not slowly in, but you want to get out there pretty fast, but maintain your nice pace. And if anything, as it gets to the end of Hyrox, you want to like, let's speed things up a little bit. Let's go a little bit faster because we've got this energy left in us now.
If you're doing the burpees is middle, the middle one of the middle exercises. So you're getting to burpees, you feel pretty good. Get to the row, right? Let's just keep it where we want to, and then let's get off the row, and let's just build into this. It's pretty much going to be flat out now. I feel good, straight into the farmers, and then you're pretty much home and dry if you're building into it.
And I think for people that have never done a Hyrox but they want to do one, but they also don't train hard a lot, like they don't do maybe like conditioning workouts or CrossFit workouts or Hyrox style workouts, but they want to give Hyrox a go, I would suggest getting really comfortable with being in an uncomfortable, exhausted feeling. Like I'm really, and you are really used to giving everything you've got in the tank, and you've collapsed on the floor and you pretty much feel like you're going to die because you've given everything you can into that workout.
Mm-hmm.
And you want Hyrox to kind of be that. You want to finish Hyrox and be like, I've given everything.
Yeah.
You don't want to finish Hyrox and be like, I could have probably gone a bit faster.
Yeah.
Like you've paid, I don't know how much it is. Like, what is it? 80 quid, 100 quid?
100 quid, I think, yeah.
100 quid. And then you've not given it your all. Like, what's the point in that? You want to give everything, but you don't want to do it too soon.
Yeah. I think the workouts that, we do that aren't Hyrox as such, like related, like the EMOM type workouts where you're working out, you're doing exercise every minute or something. You basically, what Hyrox sometimes feels like is you work out for like the 45 seconds of that EMOM and you're like, shit, that was hard. And you literally get 15 seconds. And then when you start again, you don't feel ready to start again. You're a bit like, I'm still trying to catch my breath, but you have to go again. That's the feeling of Hyrox on like a bigger scale. Your brain is telling you like, you're not ready to run, but you just got to get that air in.
Yeah, and normally you are ready to go again. You are ready to run, you are ready to lift, but your brain's trying to save you some more time. And if you choose to listen to your brain, you'll never, like, I think about workouts where I really need a break, and then I have my break 10, 20, 30 seconds, and I could still continue that break. Like I could go a minute, I could go 2 minutes, I could go 3 minutes break. But then your body is ready. Like you can do it. So you can power through, you can pick it up, you can run it. You've just got to switch your brain off, really.
Well, it's like, I don't know, you could say do, for example, I don't know, 20 wall balls and then finish it and think, shit, that was hard. I'll have, I'm meant to have 20 seconds. I have my 20 seconds and then you do your 20 again and it still feels shit. You could have 2 minutes. You're still going to feel like shit. Your body's not fully going to recover. So there's no point. It's a race at the end of the day. You might as well, the longer you're out there, the longer it's going to take, the longer the pain is going to be.
Yeah.
Just get used to whatever your zone 5 is, zone 4 is. That's where you're going to sit for however long it takes and just have to get used to it.
Are there any other don'ts? Are there any other do not do's at Hyrox? Like, you don't want to do this at Hyrox. Obviously, don't go out too fast.
Yeah.
Don't lose yourself to the adrenaline effect. But are there any others where you think you shouldn't, like, don't do that? I've got one. You said it to me a while back, which was when you're running round the outside, and you need to stop. Yeah. So say you're running, maybe you've got to do 2 laps or 3 laps or something, and you're on your first lap and you need a break. You need to stop. Don't just run and stop, because there's like 100 people behind you.
Yeah, that's a dickhead move, that. Because one, if you're the runner behind, it could like fuck up your race completely. But 2, if you are the person that stops, you're more than likely going to get an elbow or a shove or something. It's like driving a car. Like, don't just put the brakes on and expect everyone else to know that you're going to brake.
I feel like in Hyrox, anytime you are about to stop running, or you're about to walk, or you're about to like lean on something, just be aware of the fact that you're in a big race with loads of people, And obviously, if you need a break, you need to stop, that's completely fine. But when you are running on your stop, what about the person that's on the left, on the right? What about the person that's behind you?
Because it is annoying if you're the runner behind, but probably I would say more so for yourself. You're going to get whacked.
Yeah, and then even in the stations, like the lunges, let's say you're doing the lunges and maybe you're doing solos or even doubles, just stick to like your lane, but don't go in the middle. Don't go like,
I was going to say that actually. Yeah, the burpees, the lunges, farmers carries. That's probably the only ones that you can get in the way of people. So like doubles, you get loads of people every time. Like you're burpeeing, I just stand next to you and walk with you, but it's not actually that wide. So it's just you're gonna get kicked again. You're gonna get bollocked by the stewards. People aren't gonna like you around it. So just stand behind because you finish your burpees and I have to slip into like where you were. Like it's just wasting time.
Yeah, I think the main point is like being aware that there's other people there in the race, and then if you're aware and they're aware, you're not gonna, collide. But if you are not aware and they're not aware, like someone's gonna get hurt, I think.
Yeah, probably another don't for me is on the sleds. Is don't be the macho guy to be like, I'm just gonna pull full lengths. If you're on a solo, definitely don't do it. If you're on a double, don't be the one that's like, oh, I'll do a full length, you do a full length. Like, do a half, step away, let them do a half. Because you more than likely could do full lengths, but you will blow your legs up or your arms or your back or anything.
And again, if you've been doing that in training and it's been working well, all right. But on the day, like, just stick to your training. I think it's, like, for example, if you were training for a run, let's say you're training for a 5K or a marathon, and you've been sticking to your splits, and on the day you might go slightly faster, but you wouldn't go like rapid, So on the day of Hyrox, don't start doing stuff that you've not actually practiced or done, unless you really have to.
Yeah, I mean, I think I would always split the sleds into halves, just purely because it's a sprint race and endurance race mixed in one. Like they're right at the start. You've got to keep yourself in the game. There's no point running on blown up legs for longer than you have to. So your partner's there. Just let them do the bit.
Yeah.
Mixed doubles. I would say the man pushes 3/4. Female just pushes the last bit, gives you a little bit of a break, back to it. That's what I'd say.
Yeah.
Don't be the macho guy because you think you look cool pulling it or pushing it, but no one's really watching.
Yeah,
everyone will watch you when you fall on the floor.
Yeah,
because your legs feel like jelly.
I think the thing is as well is obviously there might be two types of person. There might be the people that want to get a really good time and smash the goals, and then there might be someone that's seen Hyrox. You think it looks quite fun. And what I would say to that is do it if it's what you want to do, but don't underestimate how hard it actually is.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the time, marathons, Hyrox, competitions, weightlifting stuff, people see it from a distance and think, wow, that looks fun. Wow, that looks great. Everyone's doing that. But then it is really hard. And it doesn't matter if you take it easy or if you cruise through it. It's a really tough competition. It's a tough race. So just don't underestimate these things. I think some people maybe sign themselves up to things that are very, very difficult, but because they've seen a couple of people on Instagram do it, they think that it's fine.
Yeah, Hyrox, I mean, it'll hit you like a ton of bricks at some point. Like probably the burpees. It's all, if you think about it, it's all very cleverly like set up with the exercises. Like ski lulls you into false sense of security. Sled push and the sled pull, whichever one blows your legs up and you think, shit, I'm in it. And then the burpee straight after it just kills your lungs off. And then that, I always say at that point, that's the real tester.
Yeah.
Now you're in Hyrox because your legs are blown up and your lungs are blown up. And now you're on a rower that's going to do both.
And your run slowly starts to dip.
Yeah.
Your splits get a little bit longer. and you start to be like, wow, I'm really struggling. But if you've like trained the sims, if you've trained the events, and if you've trained everything like you should have, you kind of like, I mean, we've been training for a couple of months, and we've still got quite a few months to go. By the time it gets to Hyrox, like, I want to be in a place where I'm really confident, I'm really feeling really good. But even then, it's going to be tough.
Yeah, but your levels have gone up though, haven't they?
Well,
so
yeah, you're going faster, you're going harder.
If we'd said, oh, we want to do it an hour and 10, probably by the time we get there, we actually probably do it quicker than an hour and 10. But
that's why it's nice to set yourself a goal.
Then surely if you're quicker at that point, you'd be like, oh, I want to do it quicker now, because I could easily do an hour and 10.
It's quite cool. If you're someone who's never done a Hyrox before, just go and do it, and then you've got yourself a goal, because once you've done one, now you can say, right, well, I want to beat my time, or I want to set myself a new target.
Yeah.
Whereas if you've never done one, just go and do it, but just know that it's tough.
Yeah, because after you finish it, you get obviously your score and your time and your splits of each exercise and run, so you'll be able to see which thing you actually need to improve on. Because it kind of, when you're in it, it kind of all turns into a blur. I don't know, you kind of forget what times you've got and how it felt.
Yeah.
But then obviously the time doesn't lie at the end. So
if you just made me think then, if you are on Instagram and you're training for Hyrox, there's a page called Hyrox Workouts, which we've used a couple of times for workout inspiration. I think it's like at Hyrox Workouts or something.
That's all it is.
They're really good for WODs and, targets and stuff, workouts.
I think they do stuff like leading up to it as well.
Do they?
Like more, I don't want to say like a program, but more specific workouts rather than like just general WOD workouts. But those are good, a good introduction to it.
There's two lads as well that do workouts every week called From the Source Podcast. So if you're watching this, we've got a channel. Is it like a playlist or something?
Yeah, playlist on YouTube. Yeah,
we've got a playlist on YouTube, but you'll find them on the videos. We post weekly workouts, Hyrox style, leading up to Hyrox. There's loads, and we've got videos of us doing them. They're really tough. I think, Sam's kind of curated these workouts to work on our own weaknesses and our strengths and things like that. So they're tailored for us, but they can be used by anyone, and obviously adapt the weights and stuff. One really cool thing that we've got to mention, I think, is we've been training a lot of the time heavier weights.
Yeah.
Not always, but like the sleds, for example. I find the sleds really tough. Sam does as well. And we have been loading up the sleds so that we're pushing like the pro weight, at times like heavier than the pro. So that when you then go to a normal sled for Hyrox, it feels like nicer, because everyone says that the sleds at Hyrox feel a lot heavier than they should. So we've actually been training a lot more heavier. But I think that's worked wonders.
Yeah, I think, and then just doing the runs straight after.
Yeah, still doing the runs. Sometimes we've been doing like 800-meter runs, or even like 400-meter runs, just because you don't always necessarily want to do a 1K. We run anyway in the week, but then maybe like alternating 1Ks one day, 1200s another day.
Yeah, because that's what I was going to say before, because some people, like, we don't train Hyrox type workouts all the time because we just lift weights in classes or on our own, or we do like long runs, and we've got the challenge as well, which we're doing even longer runs. So if you're starting off fresh, obviously most people probably won't be doing that. So just actually what you do in the training week, you just actually specific weights and just running as well. That, I think, that needs to be done. Yeah, it's a bit different for us, isn't it? Because we're doing different things.
Yeah, but I think that's what's cool is it's like functional fitness, like running, lifting, and doing these movements like wall balls. Like I do CrossFit a lot, and it's wall balls, it's lunges, it's burpees, it's pull-ups, but you're pulling the rope on a pull. It's bench press, it's shoulder press, and you're pushing this sled. It's it's a different technique, but I'd suggest like training for Hyrox, do the Hyrox stuff, but implement your other, don't just pie off all your other gym stuff. Keep that in as well.
Yeah, because you'll have the general strength. It's just the endurance side of it. Because like 100 wall balls is just a lot of reps. So if you're just doing, I don't know, 10 heavy wall balls or just shoulder press, your body's not used to that constant
volume.
Yeah,
I think we've set ourselves a target for our Hyrox in October of a 1 hour, like sub 1 hour, sub 60 minutes. We'd ideally like it to say 59, could say 59 or something. Yeah, but if it says 59, we're going to be buzzing. So anything better than that is unbelievable. And if it's an hour, like, we're still going to be buzzing, but our target is sub 1 hour. So we're going to be doing that in Hyrox in Birmingham in October. If anyone is going there, then give us a comment, let us know. We would love to kind of make some content while we're there that weekend. So if anyone is interested, send us a message, we'll get in touch and we'll try and link up when we're there. But I think the main thing is enjoy it, but don't underestimate it.
Yeah, definitely don't underestimate it.
And train for it, because it is a race. It's not a fun day out, I don't think. It is a fun day out, but it's a race.
Yeah, you'd be absolutely buzzing once you finish, no matter what time you get.
Yeah.
You always feel absolutely class.
Yeah, and if it all went wrong, if we got an hour and a half because I cramped and I couldn't walk, like, we still did it together and we put all the training in. It wasn't a waste of time. Like, we're still at that level, but you never know what's going to happen on the day. But yeah, the main thing is enjoy it, and good luck if you're going to do a Hyrox. If you're not yet following, subscribing, liking, commenting, sharing, then please do. It helps the channel. We've got a few links in the description. We've got a link for our charity run, which we're doing a 153-mile run as a relay team of 5 from Bridlington to Blackpool. That's in August the 31st of this year. And we also have, obviously, our Instagram in the description and YouTube, whatever you're watching. So try and find us everywhere. And yeah, stay tuned for the weekly updates, weekly podcasts, weekly workouts.
That's it. God, I didn't tell you a teacher.
That, wasn't it?
Jesus.
Jeez. Right, we'll catch you in the next one.
See you in the next one.